Hello.
Hi. Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. So, do you have all your bones memorized? Everything we have to study this week for the exam?
I do not have these memorized yet. I am working on it though.
Yeah, me too. But actually, the one from this week, did you get to the lab? The one
Not
with
yet.
the one with the bones is actually very helpful in the lab. They're having us using the atlas for this week, and it's very helpful to remember those bones.
Yeah, looked at it yet. Well, that's good to know.
So let me open my file.
Oh. Okay. So I couldn't remember. Am I doing the chapter 5 questions or chapter 6?
I believe you're doing chapter 6, and I'm doing chapter 5.
Okay.
So let's do it then.
Okay.
So for chapter 5, I had to describe the factors that determine a person's skin color. So the main factor is melanin, and the amount and type of melanin found in the skin determines a person's color. So if we have a large amount of melanin, we usually get a very black skin, while small amounts of melanin create actually a very pale yellow skin color. The Herberg also mentioned other certain conditions. One was genetic albinism or albinism. Is that how you pronounce it?
I say albinism. No, I don't know. I say albinism. I'm not sure.
Me neither. So that was so it's part of certain conditions that determine a person's skin color. In that case, we have a genetic lack of melanin that turns the skin very pale. So that's pretty much what I got for factors that determine a person's skin color. Well, if you add the UV to, I guess, when you bronze or you tan, it could also affect it and turn brown, gold. Did you have any other factors? It's pretty much what the book said.
I think what I have was just how much melanin you have, and then the UV rays. I mean, temporarily affect your color. So
Yeah. Well, now I know for sure why I I did need my color for the tropical islands. It is definitely helpful. So let's see. The next one was to list and describe the 5 functions of the skin. The first one was so the skin protects the body against external environments like bacteria, chemicals, toxins, or even injuries. A second function is it offers a barrier from absorbing too much water, again blocking UV and preventing dehydration. And the skin also produces vitamin D, and it starts that process when it is exposed to UV light. It plays a role in sensing. The skin uses sensory nerve fibers to determine temperature, touch, pressure, pain, or vibration. And the fifth one was to regulate, so thermoregulate temperature. If it's cold or hot or cold, the skin can conserve heat or sweat if needed. And that was pretty cool because this week, still from the lab, we have an experiment to do with that. The skin can regulate body temperature. So that was the last one.
Okay.
So that's the 5 functions of the skin. Do you have anything else that you wanted to add?
Nope, I think that's everything that I had for that as well.
So you didn't get to the lab experiment when we have to use with the different temperature, the hot and cold water?
I haven't. What is it, the experiment?
We pretty much have to, it's for us to look at the sensors, the temperature sensors from our skin. So we have to use cold and warm water. So at once, and then you put it in warm water, and then you see the sensation and how quickly it regulates, the skin regulates back to the opposite temperature. And then there was another one which is pretty much the same, but they do it with a fork. They want you to actually use a fork in cold and hot water, and then I guess you can run it through your skin after 3 minutes and see where you can locate those sensors on your skin. That was a pretty good experiment. Yeah, that was I like the lab that we have this week. Let's see. And the third question, we are looking at some disorders from the integumentary system. So acne is a skin disorder that causes spots and pimples to appear on the face and upper part of the body. So with this disorder, we have glands at the base of hair follicles, and hair follicles that are affected because of that substance that all glands produce that end up blocking the passage of skin cells or hair, and we have an affected area from there, and the pimple grows from there. And so it usually happens during puberty. We have, let's see, dermatitis. Is that how you pronounce it? You can stop me or correct me whenever, because I really don't know.
I think it's dermatitis, but you can say it however you want. I can be wrong. I think you're doing great.
You'll be closer than me, I'm sure. So that's an inflammation also of the skin. And with this one, we have an itchy rash on the swollen red skin. And the source of it can be toxins or chemicals. Eczema is a reaction pattern produced by the skin. And it begins as red, raised tiny blisters. And then it elevates in plaques. And when the blisters break, the affected skin will weep and ooze. So that's what I got for eczema. And the last one was impetigo. Is that how you pronounce it too?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. That one is contagious and is from a bacterial infection of the skin. We have, it produces yellow to red weeping crested lesions around the nose, the mouth, and the cheeks. So that's what I had to cover for disorders from the skin.
I looked at pictures.
Yeah, me too.
I think the last one looked the worst. The pictures I saw, at least.
Well, it's bacterial, so I will look for that in the future. That's good.
Are you ready for me to start?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so I have list and briefly describe the roles of bone in the human body. So, shape provides shape to the body and structure. I think that's fairly obvious. Our skin is shaped around our bone. provides support. It holds our body upright, the bones of the legs and pelvis, and the spine, I guess, hold it upright. And let's see, for protection, like we have our cranium that protects our brain, the rib cage that protects our brain and heart and lungs. And see, bones provide or allow movement in the body in combination with muscles. And electrolyte balance. Minerals like calcium and phosphorus are stored and eventually released from the bone and are necessary to chemical reactions in the body. So, not know that one. And then it said blood production, because the bone marrow is found in the bones, and where the blood cells are formed. Well, the major site of blood cell formation. And let's see, the last one I have is acid-base balance. So our bones help maintain a regular pH. The bones absorb and release alkaline salts. Those last couple ones I didn't know. I was surprised. The electrolyte balance and the acid base.
Sure.
Anything you want to add?
No, you covered it all.
So number 2, describe the process of bone remodeling. So bone remodeling is the process of destroying old bone, or it's called resorption, I think, and depositing new bones. And their osteoclasts remove the matrix, and they lessen the density of the bones that aren't used very much. And then the heavily used bones are made more dense. And the osteoblasts deposit new bone tissue on the surface of the bone. Let's see here. It says through remodeling, minor traumas are repaired. Calcium is released into the bloodstream. Yeah, that's mostly what I have there.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's see. Oh, one other thing that I did find interesting for children's bones. It says the remodeling allows projections and markings on the bones to appear as muscles pull on children's bones as they grow and begin to walk.
Oh, I don't know that. I guess I didn't read that part.
Okay, and then factors that affect bone remodeling are heredity, nutrition, hormones, and exercise. So I know the hormones they were talking about postmenopausal women, I guess, are more likely to have, bones that break down or get osteoporosis and stuff. Then exercise, the bones that are used more get more dense. Let's see. Anything to add to that?
I don't.
So number 3, describe the process of bone fracture repair. So first, a clot forms where the blood vessel of the bone are torn. And then that's called a hematoma. And then this transforms into a massive granulation tissue, which contains inflammatory and bone-building cells that help heal. And then a soft callus is formed as collagen and fibrocartilage are deposited into that granulation tissue. Then bone-forming cells create a bony or hard callus around the fracture site, connecting the bone ends together so that the healing can continue. And then at that point is when remodeling occurs. The callus is replaced with actual bone. So.
No, that's pretty neat the way all of that works.
I agree.
Have you had a broken bone before?
I haven't, no. Have you?
Me neither. So I have no idea how. I would not know. No.
It sounds painful. I sprained my ankle once. That was
Oh
enough
yeah,
for me.
yeah, I'm sure breaking a bone is way worse.
Yeah.
And I will not want it to be in a cast or not even be able to move it. That will be hard.
I just think it would get really itchy. I think that
Oh,
would
that
bother
too.
me.
Yeah, itchy hurts. But then it seems like, just like they said, that's why adults' bones are stronger, and that's why most injuries, well, are older people that it happened the most with. Kids that have more fragile bones or older people. Then
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So, how are you working on memorizing all these bones? Because I gotta say, there are a lot, and
there is, but
I'm
I,
working.
I feel like the easiest for me is to look at the picture, like to have that mental picture and to go from, or if I can locate them and then go down. And like I said, if you look at the lab, those pictures and it's a slide of bones that they cover the whole bodies, and they're pretty useful. And I do it by part, like I will memorize the skull bones first, and then go the way they just show it on the lab, because like you said, there's way too many. If I can't, I want.
Okay. I'll definitely have to look at the lab.
Because then pretty much the most of the other bones, when we get to uh they're bigger, there's less of them when you do the upper body, and then the legs or the arms, the way you divide it, the body,
Mm-hmm.
they're either the same or they have bigger bones and less to memorize. I feel like the skull has lots of them,
Mm-hmm.
more
I
of
know,
them
lots of
too.
little ones all around the same part.
Yeah, and that's harder too, because I like to visualize things, and the skull for sure. Some of them I can't really. Well, I know where they are at, but they're still hard to visualize compared to the rest. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you go on the arm and look for all those bones in the arm or the leg, or
Mm-hmm.
but look at the lab. It really helped me start to memorize a lot of them.
Will do. So is this time good to meet next week still for you?
Yes, is it still good for you?
Yep, that's good.
Okay, let me see what we have next week.
I like this semester going really fast. I'm just surprised we're going into week 5 this week.
Yes, that's well. I guess that just that class is making me do a lot of work.
Yeah. Oh, I can agree with that.
Are your kids already off from school? I mean, did
Not
they
yet.
start summer yet? No, I'm worrying about that once my daughter gets off.
Yeah. I lined up a babysitter for a couple days a week because I'm like, I'm just not keeping up on stuff. Like I can't keep my house clean and like make
There's
meals and take care of people and do
yeah,
my
there's
classes.
there's no way. There's way too much. Yeah, so I decided to only take 2 classes for the spring slash summer semester in the spring, but and just that class, like I said, it's actually requires lots of time.
Yeah.
So here's my summer, and I thought I will have a light load because usually I do full time.
Okay.
Is it chapter? Let me see.
I'm looking at the key concepts for next week. There's 1 question for chapter 8 and 3 for chapter 9. Do we just want to each take 2 questions, I guess? Or
Sure, that works for me.
okay. You want the first two, the last two?
Why don't you choose? You get choose this week. So go ahead and pick.
Okay, I'll take the first two.
Okay, I'll do the two last then.
Okay.
Oh, sounds good. Are you doing well? I'm glad this week they don't have the memory thing aid because has it been helping you? I feel like it's giving me more homework than helping me because then I have to think about has it been helping you?
Not a lot, honestly. I mean, I go in there and I make up these things for how to remember it, and I can remember some of them, but
most of it.
questions it helps me on, but not too many. I don't know.
Okay. Wow. It doesn't, so I don't really use. Well, I do that exercise, but then I don't really use it to memorize because it's not helping. I just don't know how others do because I've done it that they're using those type of memory aids because there's so much you have to learn. That is crazy.
I know. It's like there is so much. Like I can't remember all these cutesy little things I make up to remember things. Might as well just work at memorizing the actual words.
All right. Well, you have a good night.
You too. See you next week.
All right. Bye.